Fuck me, I didn't set up the right mic. Okay, now technical difficulties are taken care of. Hello, and welcome to the Big Smoke and Friends podcast. Yeah, hold on. Plug these in real quick. Hope everyone's doing alright on a... It's about to be Thursday. And... Yeah. We're back. We're here. We're about to rant and sound mentally insane. How y'all doing? What's up? Happy hump day, motherfuckers. Hope you're getting through the week. Kicking that job's ass or school's ass or whatever. It's summer. You shouldn't be in school right now. If you are, you're just torturing yourself. But, yeah, I never understand the people that do, like, summer classes. I remember a few times being in summer school and they're just one of the, like, smart kids is there and you're just like, what are you doing here? They're like, oh, I'm taking an extra class so I don't have to take it, next year, or, like, to get ahead. And I'm just, like, sitting there like, dude, it's summer, dude. This is summer. I'm here because I have to be. You're here because you want to be? But, you know, those people are probably more ahead in life than me, so. You know, who's laughing now, I guess? Wow. Oof. Yeah, it takes 5 seconds to have a deep reevaluation of your life choices. Also, as my fucking lighter decides not. There we go. You know, I never understand. You know, I really do wonder, like, whenever I move out of this place, if they'll ever be able to get the weed smell out. Because usually when I have, like, people come over, I light a candle. Or, like, a couple, actually. Because every time I walk into my house, I smell weed. So, I'm trying to, like, when I have, like, guests over, I try and, like, not have that. So that way, you know, so it doesn't look like I just smoke weed all the time. But, yeah, it's, yeah, no, it's not, it's weird. I don't know, so most of the people I have over know I smoke weed, and, like, no, it's weird. I never try and, like, I guess I've never really tried to hide the fact that I smoke weed either, so I don't know why I have some weird, I guess it's just because it's, like, it's your host, it's, like, your house. Oh, I forgot to turn off the goddamn bathroom. If you can hear the fucking fan in the background, I'm sorry. I'll pause here real quick. You know, like I said, the only whiskey I've ever been able to just kind of, like, sip on, because I have, like, nothing to mix it with, has become Jameson, and for reasons I don't wish to discuss on camera, or on the mic, yeah, it's almost like drinking water at this point. But, like, I never get the people that just sit there and, like, single age malt scotch on the rocks, or no rock, no, not even any rocks. It's just, like, just straight out of the bottle in a glass of fucking poison that you sip on to, like, look cool, I guess. I swear the same things for cigars. I mean, I don't know how many people actually like smoking cigars. I feel like it's more of an aesthetic and maybe a slight buzz. But I've never been a big cigar person. Had, like, and to be honest, man, I don't know. I grew up with parents that smoked, and I've just learned to, like, fucking hate the smell of fucking tobacco. Honestly, hate that fucking smell. But it's I don't know. It just seems like it's a bad habit. Honestly, and at least I don't smoke cigarettes in here. Jesus Christ! Back in the day, I mean, that was actually a very common occurrence. If you ever, like, look at pictures of, like, houses that were back in the day, like the 50s and shit, like when they peel back the wallpaper, it's just coated in fucking cigarette smoke, and like it's a pretty penny to clean that shit out too, to be honest, because they have to, like, remove all the fucking toxins and the fucking, because, like, smoke does linger and it leaves, like, a stain on, like, walls and stuff. Like, you can tell, like, in a which is why like a lot of places like when you rent don't have like no smoking like in their lease. Like you're not allowed to smoke inside the premises. Some places even have like no smoking on the premises, like at all. Um, which is crazy because I mean you used to be able to smoke a cigarette on a plane. You used to be able to walk down the street anywhere and smoke a cigarette, or walk into any building and smoke a cigarette. I mean, until yeah, it's weird how culture changes so quickly like that. I mean, if you really think about like between like how it is now versus how it used to be, it's like a couple decades really. It's getting farther and farther as we go on, but still, it's really not that long ago. You're looking like the grand scheme of time. But you know, yeah, that's weird. Um, it's weird. That's still even like a thing that people do is smoke cigarettes. You would think like I mean, especially with like vaping nowadays, and I mean, there's even like before it was like the only I think the only thing they sold in gas stations was like Juul, but now they have like Escobar, whatever Escobar, blah blah, or like the Puff something, and or like the big boxes, or like the little singular disposables. So I mean, it's not like it's. Although I saw one lady buy two of them or something. It was like $30 or something, and I was just what the fuck, man. Or like it was because like one of them can be like $20 depending on where you go or who you get it from. Yeah, like I fucking bought coolant from what was it like someone that like took over a racetrack or something. Like I don't even know what the fuck it's Happy something or whatever. Um, and like a coolant that's usually like $15 was like 18. I was like, oh wow, what the fuck. Um, but yeah, no, I mean it's just not a. I don't know. It's not a thing I think about. I guess I didn't think about it until I get got into it, honestly. Um, yeah. You know something? I was as recently. It's been a weird thing when you go to like a bar or something where you're like kind of a regular and you feel like you haven't been there in a while, but they still treat you like a regular. It's really fucking nice. And even when they acknowledge that, hey, it seems like we haven't seen you in a while, and that's I feel like you let them down somehow. But it's still nice to be recognized, I guess. It's still nice to be appreciated. But you know, you gotta spend a lot of money at a bar to fucking become like you don't even have to pull your ID. You don't need to, or the bartender knows you and shit like that. That shit takes time and a significant financial contribution to the establishment. But yeah, no, it's you know something too. I read a good book on alcohol and like it's like history throughout humankind. I think it's I can actually pull it up. It was actually really fascinating. It did all the pros and cons of like alcohol uh, consumption, like over the like thousands of years. A little bit of, like the history of it, like of how we came to. I think it even says in it that like there's a theory that some people are. Maybe I should honestly re-listen to it. It was an audiobook too. If you don't like reading, yeah, it's called Drunk by Edward Singerland. It's actually really good. I really recommend it. I love anything that does like a deep dive on like ancient people and like how it kind of like affects us today and stuff like that. There was something weird. It was talking about how like it's actually important psychologically to have a if you go out and drink to have like a spot, like a place you regularly go to with like where you can meet up with your friends or colleagues even if you have like a after work like a like an office bar or something like that where everybody goes after work type deal to like trade ideas, think about things, and it also loosens you up socially. So you're like more comfortable around the people maybe you're uncomfortable around, and how like it's something too. Is just like I think he even said that like in the book that he actually either came up with the idea for this book while drinking or it's something that I don't remember. I gotta reread the book Sometimes I do. I feel is an audiobook reading or is it just listening to a book? Like that's because like I mean I guess I could have an actual physical book and actually read or just have the thing in my because I have like two books I've been trying to read, like the Anthony Bourdain book and was it Sacred Mushroom of the Cross or something about mushrooms or religion. Um, that I've been trying to get to, and I just never seem to either want to or just have the time to go. I'm really making excuses for myself, honestly, but I'm halfway through the Bourdain book. I should just finish that one because it's not that. It's actually not. It's an easy one. It's an easy read for me because I actually like. Because I don't know why I ever put it down. Sometimes I pick up a book and then as long as I'm interested in it, I can read it for hours and I can finish a book in a day if I wanted to. But I don't know, put it down for whatever reason and I just haven't picked it back up again. I do that with a lot of things actually. Like sometimes with this, and I know there's some people notice like big gaps in episodes, like um, sometimes months or weeks or days even. I do that with this. TV shows that I like watching, shit like that. Just other things that just like, and I don't know if it's like, I don't know if it's like depression or something or like nihilism. It's like, it doesn't matter, blah 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 blah. But I do get in like sometimes I really do just fucking feel like I stare at the fucking ceiling. Sometimes just like, I don't want to do anything, or if whatever I do, nothing matters type deal. Which I gotta get out of that fucking loop of thinking, honestly. Um, but yeah, it's just sometimes it's hard to get out of that. Honestly, you go through a few days of nothing fucking matters, and you really start believing that shit. But what else has been going on? Oh, I found out my grandma has Alzheimer's, which is not fun. But I did like a little bit of. So I mean, as soon as I find out, I do like a little deep dive, like what is it like and shit like that. I talked to my dad, whose mom went through dementia, which is kind of similar, but like from what I said, it's like every and my mom, who I found out through, does have a tendency to over exaggerate things or to just assume the worst always. So that's why I just you gotta do your own research a little bit, and it's just like every case is different. And I gotta say though, that's just like such a shitty way to go. Like I can't imagine, especially as a person who has it, just me know like you sitting around at a dinner table with your family and like this is a ticking time. Like you're not gonna. It's not just like death itself. It's just like you're not even like you might by the end of it not even remember who any of these people are. Or if you do, it's gonna be like little flashes of memory and then it's gonna be gone. And I just like losing your mind is like something that's like I think worse than like cancer or something like that. Or I would I don't know. It just seems like there's like cancer is treatable to a degree, and there's some people that are just term. There's like, hey, there's nothing we can do. We can make all we can do is make your life. Obviously, there's that, and I'm sure that is painful in its own way, and especially to the person and the family, or to everyone involved. Um, and I'm sure you go a little loony by that time too. Like I'm not even. I can't imagine honestly. Um, but like just like I just can't imagine that just like sitting around just like thinking like eventually you're not gonna remember how to go to the bathroom or not be able to take care of yourself or know the people around you. I mean, that's just I just can't imagine. I would tell a doctor to take me. There should be like a clause like, hey, if a doctor tells you something you don't want to hear, you can just get taken out back like old Yeller and shot. But put out your own fucking misery. Um, but obviously you're not gonna do that. I mean, and you never know. Medical science could advance in some way, or because I mean, it sucks when you're always like the optim. Like my friend's dad got diagnosed with Parkinson's, and you're sitting there like, oh, dude, you never know. They could find a cure or some new medical treatment. You're being the optimistic one, or like someone with like cancer. You're gonna be like, oh, they'll be all right. You never know. And then it's in your own fucking family, and you hear like any kind of terminal diagnosis, and you're just like, fuck. All that like optimism you have for other people is just gone. You're just like, what the fuck, man? It's just like world's not fair, and it sucks too. Like I saw my grandma 2 years ago, and she was perfectly fine, and now all of a sudden she has a terminal illness, and like it's just like it's fucking bullshit. Honestly, it's not. Man, fucking world sucks. It's not fucking fair. Um, sorry, I don't mean to get in the doom and gloom here for a second. Here, let me take a bong rip and try and use drugs to forget about my problems to be a little bit more entertaining. Yes, yeah. We went from book recommendations to my shit shithole of a situation. Um, but honestly, it's not all doom and gloom. They're gonna be moving here in a couple weeks, and so at least we'll have family close by. So, and they said, like they said, every case is different, and it might not be quick. It might be a slow burn kind of deal, and we might not notice the effects of it for years. So, I'm sure they'll give her something to help with the effects, or they'll tell her to, maybe. I heard that like drinking sometimes contributes to it, long term alcohol use can, besides just liver problems, can affect your brain too. Um, Same with like other, both the substances I'm consuming right now. Uh, that's the thing too, man. I can't imagine like just raw dogging life, like so, and like people who get like addicted to things and just so. And I understand why people relapse too. I mean, you gotta think about like, because like I think everyone uses a drug to escape from something or to like like they're using it for a reason. They're not just sitting there just to get high. And obviously they want to. They're running from something, and whatever they're taking is alleviating the stress of that. Whatever it's debt, life troubles, trauma. Everyone's got a vice that they use to get away from their problems. And anyway, but like when you finally get like off that, and then like, I mean, world doesn't stop trying to kick your ass just because you're sober. So one bad day and you could just right hop right off the wagon, man. Fucking Christ, man. I mean, I need to stop drinking. Sometimes I just like have trouble like talking, and that's weird too. Like I've stopped drinking a little bit, only a little bit. Just not as much. That's not true. No. Oh, I just realized. No, what the fuck am I talking about? Uh, I got drunk like almost every night last week. But and two, there's nothing worse than having like a hangover. It's not worth it. But yeah, no, it's just fucking. I hate. You know, there are many times in which I wish I could just shut off my head. Like no more thinking, just like some basic like instinct, like eat, sleep, drink, go to work. Um, rinse and repeat. Just not think about everything constantly. But you can't do that. Obviously, gotta learn to like channel it somehow. Like, cause like especially when I get like all manic and like a little bit like lonely or depressed or whatever, I just gotta keep myself busy. I can't like stop doing things. Like I should be in bed right now. It's 10:30. I gotta get up at 5 a.m. and I'm just being manic. I can't. I couldn't go to sleep if I tried right now. So that's why I'm like, that's why I'm doing this. This is a can't sleep rant for sure. God damn it. Green tea is not a good mix. Fucking Christ. Um, I don't even know why I do a green tea shot. That doesn't taste anything like green tea shot. God, I wish I had. Uh, I wonder like what people would do. Yeah, I was looking into like what was it? Universal basic income like the other day, just because I was thinking about it. Just because I was just like, I wish. I think everybody just wishes they had more money. It'd be nice if like just got a check in the mail every day just for existing. I thought, and it's a really weird, interesting concept actually. Just being able to like get enough money to like get by, kind of like cover your basic needs. Like I think like food, shelter, water, stuff like that. Like nothing. Like no one's getting enough money to buy a fucking Ferrari or multi-million-dollar house just for free. You know, you're just getting like I think it was Andrew Yang. Yeah, he proposed this a few years ago when he was running for president, and I mean nobody thought of anything, and then like Trump fucking just did it. Basically with the COVID stimulus and then unemployment, all you had to do was apply for it, and you just got however much. I mean, some people were getting paid more, so and that's a weird thing too, because people were on there for like a while, and like not. I mean, fuck ton of people were just not working, collecting money from the government, and the world kept spinning. So it's just sometimes I'm just like, okay, so can the government give us money without it like falling apart or being like that much like financially like constrained because of it or whatever? I mean, because they did the stimulus stuff to like, to keep the economy going, to keep people like, spending money, so that like, because that's the one thing that when like an economy, well, I remember tons of YouTube. YouTube's a great way to like learn stuff if you just want to like find like a weird. I'm a visual learner, so I like when they make like videos where like they do like little cartoons and shit, uh, or like graphs and stuff like that. I feel like I learn better visually. I don't know. But anyway, so I was watching this thing, and they're like, so to like keep the economy from collapsing and just like dead halting, because everyone wants to like keep their money, because when people lost their jobs during COVID, they had no idea when the next paycheck was coming. So of course they're not gonna go to Walmart and buy a fucking goddamn margarita machine or fucking clothes or food. I mean, the only thing they're buying are essentials, which is not that much. Which if someone on a budget is buying, is they're not spending that much money. And even if food is like, even if you raise the cost of food as much as humanly possible, they're going to buy essentials. They're going to buy milk, bread, eggs, and fucking meat or spam. Which no way you can. I mean, if you make that, I always said they keep raising the price of eggs, they're going to start getting someone's getting guillotine out. But anyway, I mean, guess that's one thing. You want a society to riot? Make it impossible to live like a normal life. Like make food either unavailable or almost unattainable financially or just physically. Like just like famine or just like the cost of bread is like the fucking down payment on a house. Um, but so like anyway, so they were just pumping money into people's bank accounts basically, so that people did not feel the financial constraint of not having a job anymore, so they would still feel comfortable spending money and spending frivolously, which keeps the economy somewhat moving and not in a recession or something like that, which they keep saying we're slowly moving towards because of shit like this. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, people say inflation is because of fucking the COVID shit, and then which I just don't believe. I feel like eventually every economy has to go through some like fucking. Eventually, there's a housing bubble, like in '08, and there's or something like it, and it's gonna pop. So they blame whatever they need to blame to justify it. Unfortunately, I mean, I don't think it's like something that like it's not like doomed to fail, but like eventually it's gonna be like something's gonna come along to make it not do as well. I mean, I think they already said there's like somewhat of a housing crisis. I mean, there's a crisis in like affordability for sure. But like, no, I mean, I think they even said that like even like the like rich people still aren't buying shit. And but I mean, I don't know. It seems like I don't know. They're always talking about recession and like trying to avoid it, and then the whole debt ceiling thing too. Ugh. Like sometimes I just really look at like what the. I mean, I can't imagine any of this shit's real. Like, is money real? Is money real? Tell me, please, somebody. Explain to me the concept of money. But yeah, actually, I just found a $5 bill randomly in a pocket, and I was like, oh my god, I can eat. Or I was just like, I have like an extra $5. I was very excited just to find like an extra $5. And like when I hear change like fall on the ground, I fucking look at it. I'm like, where did that come from? Like the I want to get to the point where if I just drop like $1 on the ground, I'm like, I don't need it. Whatever. I don't want to bend down. I'm beneath bending down to grab this dollar, like a penny to me, or something like that. But I don't know. Honestly, like I don't see how you can be like from rags to riches and not just be like a complete like Scrooge with your money. Because I would never want to like go back, so I would be so stingy probably with it. Like I'd be like, all right, spend a little bit, obviously, live that fucking baller lifestyle a little bit, but like and be like, hey, maybe instead of like a mansion in Hollywood, we buy like a nice house in like Montana or something where like land is cheap, or like Alaska or something. I don't know, just like ball, but like not ball like your upper middle class instead of your like lower 1%er. Uh, so I don't know. Anyway, I mean that's my suggestion for rich people. But anyway, I'm not rich, so I don't really think I can give that much advice on the concept of being rich. No, Mister Moneybags here. I ain't no monopoly man. No, anyway, I think that'll be like a good note to leave you guys out on. And thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the can't sleep rant. And oh Jesus, sorry, whiskey's catching up to me. Uh, yeah, I hope you. Yeah, we're halfway through the week, folks. I hope you all have a good and wonderful and stress-free rest of your week. And maybe I'll probably talk to you guys again before the weekend or over the weekend. So, goodbye, everybody. I love you.